Goldilocks. There once lived a cozy family of bears in a wooden cabin in the middle of a lush and leafy forest. Early one marvelous spring morning, Papa Bear and Mama Bear prepared a delicious soup for lunch, and then went out for a long walk with their son Baby Bear to enjoy the beautiful day. While they walked happily through the forest, a small and pretty little girl approached the bears' cabin. The little girl was known as Goldilocks because of her long and golden ringlets that she always wore tied in a big bow. Goldilocks, attracted by the charming cabin and the delicious smell of food, entered the bear's house and went over to the kitchen table, where there were 3 bowls of soup laid out. She took a spoon and began to taste the biggest bowl of soup. However, it was steaming hot, and so she left it alone. She then took another spoon and tried the middle bowl, but it was still a little too hot. Then she went over to the smallest of the 3. This was an ideal temperature, and she ate every last drop of the tasty soup in the little bowl. Once she had finished her feast, Goldilocks felt tired and looked around for a place to rest. Next to the chimney she saw 3 wooden chairs and went over to them. She sat in the biggest chair, but found it hard and rough. She jumped down to try the medium-sized chair. However, this was not the right size for her either, and so she decided to sit on the smallest of the 3. She sat down and said in a satisfied voice, "I'm comfortable at last. This is the perfect chair for me. I will be able to rest a good while here." Unfortunately, however, this was not the case. The baby bear was actually smaller than her, and the chair gradually gave way, and the girl fell to the floor with a bump. After recovering from the shock of her fall, Goldilocks decided to look for another place to lie down, as she was still feeling very tired after her walk in the woods. She looked up from the floor and saw a bedroom with 3 beds before her. She went into the bedroom and tried out the biggest of the 3 beds. The bed was enormous and rough, and the pillow was too high for her little head. After moving this way and that for some time, she still could not find a comfortable position, so she slid down from the bed and got in between the sheets of the middle bed. Goldilocks was still not comfortable, and based on what had happened so far, thought, "Maybe the little one will be the most comfortable. I hope it doesn't break like the chair." So she lay down on the bed. It was so soft and cozy that she fell asleep straight away. It was then that the bears returned home. Imagine their surprise when they went to the table to have lunch and saw that all the spoons were in the bowls. Papa Bear said, "Someone has tasted my soup." Mama Bear pointed to her bowl and said, "Someone has tasted my soup too." And Baby Bear cried in an astonished voice, "Someone has tasted my soup and finished it all off." But there were more surprises in store, as they still had many things to discover. Papa Bear, seeing that his chair was not in its usual place, said, "Someone's been sitting in my chair." Mama Bear also quickly realized that someone had also been sitting in her chair. And Baby Bear, more and more astonished, cried out, "Someone's been sitting in my chair, and now it's all broken." The whole family went quiet for a moment, trying to understand what could have happened in their absence. Then the sound of a yawn coming from the bedroom caught their attention. They forced themselves to go into the bedroom and were amazed to discover that there was a little girl in Baby Bear's bed. Goldilocks had woken from her nap, and on opening her eyes was amazed to see 3 angry bears looking at her. The frightened little girl jumped out of bed and rushed out of the cabin, leaving the 3 bears behind with the 3 beds, 3 chairs, and 3 bowls of soup. The further away she got from the house, the more frightened she felt. Once she arrived home, she sobbed as she told her mother the whole story. Her mother told her off for entering a stranger's house, but gave her a big hug to comfort her. She baked a big chocolate cake, which they both took to the family of bears the following morning, in order to apologize for the child's naughtiness. Goldilocks never again entered a house without ringing first. And the 3 bears? Well, They still laugh when they think of little Goldilocks' frightened face.